Cursed spirit manipulation is a technique that overwrites many conditions in the world of Jujutsu Kaisen. Its merit and potential make it one of the most coveted and powerful abilities in this series, and as such, its users stand out as very, very powerful sorcerers that quite literally shook the Jujutsu world. Geto, Suguru, and Kenjaku are some of the best shamans in this modern era of sorcerers. They are very prominent antagonists in this series, and they share a power that makes them public enemy number one. The curse known as Geto Suguru is the worst of all curse users, and still to this day, with the entity Kenjaku, they are still among the worst, as in wicked. Kenjaku is the number one threat to the Jujutsu society today, and Geto was also humanity's greatest threat during his time in 2017, and this is largely due to their intellect along with using curse spirit manipulation. So today, let's discuss Geto, Suguru, and Kenjaku's power as characters to see how strong they were in Jujutsu Kaisen. First, I really want to go over the differences because they are slightly different as entities, and in my opinion, they have really a decent gap in power, especially in their experience. But first up is Geto Suguru, and Geto is an astonishing sorcerer. His skills automatically make him at the very least, top 10 or even top 8 strongest characters so far in the series. Curse spirit manipulation is absolutely broken as an ability, but before getting to his technique, let's look at Geto's redeeming traits and his qualities. Geto Suguru has incredible control over cursed energy, and he has a huge amount of it. In fact, as a byproduct of having cursed spirit manipulation as his technique, his cursed energy feels very different from other sorcerers, and his understanding of Jujutsu is vast. Geto is very adept and keen in battle, and surprisingly, despite having a cursed technique that lets him play keep away, Geto is incredibly good at hand-to-hand combat and knows martial arts well. Physically, Geto is very impressive. Oftentimes, when compared to newer characters, Geto gets a bit outshined in physical aspects, but it's important to note that in Geto's prime, Geto was competently battling Yuta and Cursed Rika during the Night of 100 Demons. He was keeping up well in that, and what's very key here is that he opts to use Playful Cloud, which is the only special grade tool that doesn't have an imbued curse technique, but uses the wielder's pure, solid power, just power, and he was still able to confidently fight two absolute monsters. So he does operate at a higher level physically than most sorcerers would, and he's very durable, surviving Inumaki's cursed speech and Yuta's ultimate cursed energy output. Geto is one of the 4 special grades, and he posed enough danger to literally start an entire war with the Jujutsu society. And this is possible due to Geto's intellect and his special innate technique, cursed spirit manipulation. This technique, born inside of Geto, grants him complete subjugation, control, summoning, and manipulation over cursed spirits. He completely rules over curses that he has taken. This is kind of similar to the 10 Shadows technique, but curse manipulation as a whole is far more versatile and overwhelming as a technique. There is still the condition of defeating the curse in battle before use, and he literally has to consume the spirit to add it to the collection, plus you would have to build your arsenal over time. But as a trade-off, there is no limit to how many spirits can be spawned, taken in, or taken out. Geto had well over 6,000 curses in JJK 0. It must have taken him almost a decade to build all of this up. He used over 2,000 to distract the other sorcerers and 4,461 to fight Yuta. Sheer insanity. Most of these curses were of grade 2 and lower, but he does have heavy hitters like special grades. And it's really the diversity in his arsenal that makes Geto so dangerous. He would have even won against Yuta if his curses were not split up, and he would have been able to take Rika with his power. It's far too easy for him to overwhelm and dominate opponents with his sheer numbers and variety. It'd be like hitting brick wall after brick wall. After one curse is defeated, another spirit with a different technique could be added and added on and on. It's a very obnoxious and extremely powerful ability, especially with higher level spirits. Some cursed spirits even have barrier techniques and curse techniques that can be used in tandem during battle, making Geto virtually untouchable in a practical sense to most opponents. Geto has a lot of spirits under his command, and that stacked with his skill and his intellect made him a top tier sorcerer. His base stats are great, his cursed energy is phenomenal, and his curse technique has extremely high potential. It is no joke one of the best curse techniques in the series. Geto still even had more applications with maximum techniques like Uzumaki, which could have made him even more powerful, as we'll see with Kenjaku. This curse technique is definitely a huge factor in Kenjaku's plans, and Kenjaku inhabiting Geto's body makes for one of the best sorcerers today, even better and even higher than his host Geto, as well as his contemporaries being the calling game players. Kenjaku could be the one above all of them. He leads the way. With some exception, he made them who they are today. Kenjaku definitely has the skills, he has the influence, the relevance, and the power. Everything props Kenjaku up as the one ascending closer and closer to the top. Kenjaku is everything Geto is, but better. He has all of Geto's memories, all of his knowledge and understanding, and due to Kenjaku's body hopping technique, he now possesses Geto's cursed spirit manipulation. But let's actually look at Kenjaku first, just to get a bit of an idea about him. Kenjaku is well over 1,000 years old. They are an ancient entity, and unlike a lot of ancient people, Kenjaku actually lived through all of their lives. They have been doing this for a long damn time, learning, scheming, growing, planning, living through lifetimes of experience. How many techniques do you think he's seen? Do you think he's had? How many domains, barriers, curses, fighting styles? Kenjaku knows what he's doing. He has seen the best of the best, and he has been instigating and planning for a millennium to reach his goals. Kenjaku has maximum prep, lifetimes of trial and error. He even failed going against the Six Eyes in the past to corrupt Tengen using the vessel's absence, but he still lost multiple times. But this era, he came prepared. He learned the matchup. He sealed Gojo. Everything fell into place, and now even the Six Eyes is effectively sealed. Tengen is evolving, and no one is in his way. Kenjaku has zero setbacks. No sorcerer, no curse or curse user is even on Kenjaku's radar. He's just above that. In terms of jujutsu talent, Kenjaku is one of the greatest users. He is the second most powerful barrier user next to Master Tengen himself. And if you remember, he is solely responsible for launching 10 citywide barriers across Japan, which takes immense skill and effort on his part and is difficult even for him. He uses vows from thousands of years, not only having vows with sorcerers to bring them back now in the games, but also with curses, and he has released millions of curses in Japan, debuting the calling games. Kenjaku has superior use of cursed spirit manipulation. He has shown a level Geto Suguru has not revealed. Both Geto and Kenjaku can use maximum Uzumaki as a technique, recycling all of their spirits and combining them into super condensed cursed energy for attack. It's very powerful. But with the way Kenjaku applied it and uses it, he can also use high level spirits of semi-grade 1 and higher to the Uzumaki and fully extract their technique. Kenjaku now has the ability to consume strong curses and take their technique for himself. Now, brothers, I don't need to explain how many rules are being broken here, because this is like a technique cheat code. Kenjaku can already body hop as a curse technique, and he inherited Geto curse technique from it. So now he has two curse techniques already. And now using Geto's technique, it allows him to steal a cursed spirit's curse technique. Kenjaku is a mad genius, and the specific power he absorbed to start off the games is Mahito's idol transfiguration, granting him control over the soul as he proceeded to use remote activation on Tengen's barrier to jumpstart the games and activate calling game players. He had the technique for mere minutes and already incorporated wide-scale remote activation and applied it to someone else's barrier. Not to mention there was 10 other enemy sorcerers around him at the end of Shibuya, and not one person was even touching him. It was actually kind of laughable how outplayed the sorcerers got in Shibuya. Kenjaku gave everyone an L that night, and he left in style, leaving Japan in chaos for the new world to come. The downside to curse manipulation is that a spirit's curse technique and potential ceases to grow once the curse is extracted. But just think, with the level Mahito reached, having a domain, extension techniques, a 0.2 domain, and an evolved form, would this mean that Kenjaku has the capability to do all of these things on top of curse manipulation? Now that is a really scary thought, and that's utterly broken. Transfiguration alone already gives an unnatural amount of immunity and deadly control over the soul, and Kenjaku might have more techniques on top of everything, all of this. Kenjaku has reverse curse technique. He has super powerful special grade curses like Small Talk's Deity, Nine-Tailed Fox Spirit, Kuo Urushi, and more. I know some of these were already exercised, but I'd imagine he has more monsters like this with domains, techniques, and all, the whole deal, because he has more up his sleeve. And he has knowledge of barrier techniques like domains, curtains, simple domains. He actually is hinted at teaching curses like Jogo and Hanami domain amplification, which shuts off curse techniques, making everyone vulnerable to attack no matter who you are. Even Gojo is infected by an ability like this. Master Tengen himself is so confident in Kenjaku's ability as a sorcerer that he thinks Kenjaku has the capability to forcefully absorb and manipulate him like he would a curse, which would cause an unimaginable outcome because Tengen is an evolved entity that is immortal. He is a higher being that exists beyond the physical realm, so to speak. He's something greater than human, greater than sorcerer, than curse. So if Kenjaku absorbed Tengen with his power, he would make something, cause something, or become something beyond comparison. Of course, Kenjaku has not reached that point yet, but gradually he has become someone that is standing above the rest. Besides, obviously, Gojo and Sukuna, of course, but all of Kenjaku's abilities and skills as a sorcerer make him strong, and his intellect in literally everything and anything jujutsu is virtually unmatched besides a select few. He can literally make sorcerers with his power. He can control armies of cursed spirits. The entirety of Japan and the Jujutsu Society itself, the very foundation of Jujutsu, is in his grasp, under his control. Do you think Kenjaku is worried about anyone stopping him right now? Gojo was hyping up Yuta Okotsu's ability and believes Yuta could challenge him, and that scenario is not even a thought in Kenjaku's mind. Yuta's not even relevant to him, not even worth the trouble. Yuta Okotsu cannot become the next Satoru Gojo. Whether that comes back to bite him, we'll see, but Kenjaku has 0 L since his inception in this era, and he's looking like the cleanest living sorcerer on the planet right now. I think in power and relevance, Kenjaku, he would comfortably be at the 3rd strongest sorcerer today in Jujutsu Kaisen. Of course, the gap between Gojo and Sukuna in their power is immeasurable, so that 3rd spot is very important in relevance, and Kenjaku, he just fits the bill to me. Y'all brothers may think differently, and that's cool, but Kenjaku is extremely influential right now and completely oversees all the events going on during the Culling Game arc. He is definitely shaping up to be one supremely skilled antagonist, and I can only imagine what sort of enlightenment he would receive when Lord Tengen is reached in his plan. It's pretty crazy to think about, but this was a fun video to make. I enjoy both Kenjaku and Geto as characters, and I like the nuanced differences in their personality and in their power. I love cursed spirit manipulation. It's very dark and very fitting, so I hope you guys enjoyed. Please like and sub for more content like this, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.